Hey Skyfarers, and welcome to Aethercast, the Kharadron Overlords channel and podcast. Well, today we're probably not going to talk about Kharadron Overlords too much. Maybe we will. Well, actually, we probably will because that's what we like talking about. And we will just tangent onto it at some point. But we're going to be talking about everything the Games Workshop have revealed today for Warhammer Day. Joining me for tonight's show is my ever faithful avatar of Grombrindle, Duardin Max Bowman. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I
How
was
are you?
just hearing an echo, and I realized the YouTube was on your
Oh, okay.
page.
I couldn't hear it, but
That's fine.
and apologies if you hear them in a minute, but there might be fireworks going off in the background.
Celebration.
To celebrate not blowing up Parliament. A week early, apparently. So, I mean, the news is kind of the show for today.
Yep.
So, I don't know, is there anything else newsworthy that isn't Warhammer Day?
Not really. There's not much been going on lately.
Mm-hmm. No? I mean, it's just been leading up to Warhammer Day, I suppose.
Yep.
And hello to anyone in the chat. We've got Jay Durfee's hanging out in there. Disappointed that there wasn't at least one Duardin.
There's some bits we can use.
Yeah, one Nurgle model after only 3 years.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that range. I think during the end times in Warhammer Fantasy, Nurgle got a lot of kits, like the Glotkin and so on. So I think their range is pretty good. They got the new Sorcerer Lord, which is needed because the old one they had is the little fat guy with the scrolls and the metal one.
I mean, they did get a bunch of stuff when they did have their last release. I know it was a while back, but they got they got a whole load of heroes and stuff, didn't they? Mm-hmm. They got lots of Sloppy Barpiper and all that sort of thing back then, didn't they?
True. But there's a lot of stuff in that book because it's mortals and demons, so it's basically 2 books.
Yeah. So I mean, well, we know we're getting a Battle Tome. I'm not going to play the video because you've probably already seen the video. Battle Tome's coming out in December, they've said.
They said before the end of the year, I think. So December 31st.
There's a line that says set your calendar for December or something.
Well, that is December. Yeah. We all know that when they say December, they mean the last half an hour of the month.
Well, because that is my point. Is they always do a reveal on Christmas Day, don't they? They always reveal something on Christmas Day. So is it actually coming out? And then that stuff comes out on January normally, or like the last weekend.
So it might be the week before Christmas. Like the Slaves to Darkness was on the 16th or 18th, I think.
Okay.
Before Christmas, so maybe the week before Christmas. But who knows with the whole disruption. I approved that on the cover art here. There's Illuminative guy getting what is happening to him. Some roots growing through him, and he's about to get
tentacles
his head taken off by that sight stuff. That's cool. So I approve. Yep.
So yeah, new Battle Tome. They've also hinted at some of the stuff. They've mentioned disease. It's a battle trait and disease weapons. So, and they mention that you'll be getting hurt potentially just by being near them, which I would imagine would be if you're within 3 inches at the start of the hero phase or something.
Yeah, there's some disease affecting you. Even if the unit dies, it continues to affect you and cause mortal wounds. So something like Scragrot's Moon on a Stick weapon, where he curses you and he keeps doing mortal wounds. Maybe something like that. Which is, okay. First, you can't kill Nurgle, now they do mortal wounds back. I've heard from an inside voice that Plague Bearers will get 2 wounds each. They are on 32 millimeter basis, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which makes them much better. All the wounds characteristic, and we'll see what else they show us.
Yeah. And then there's this guy. The fly guy.
Yeah, there's different head options, which I think is a cool thing they adopted with the new minis now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the fly face is a bit awkward.
Well, it's not really like a fly. It's like a fly with a beak.
Is that a tongue coming out in the front, or is that
Who
beak, or is it
knows?
like a?
Because a fly doesn't
horn?
have that, does it? They would have like two little thingies.
The fly has like a trunk. I don't know.
It's an elephant fly.
Yeah, well, miniature one.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with flies. But yeah, cool mini. As always, AOS minis are very well designed.
Yeah.
There's some stuff attached to his back. I don't know what it is with the new sorcerers. They all have something nailed to their back. The same with the Cursed City guy, the evil sorcerer, and this guy is always something.
This doesn't even seem to have like straps, like shoulder straps. It's not like a rucksack.
I'm not sure if it's not attached to something we cannot see behind his hood.
There's something here like going around under his armpits.
Yeah. We'll see.
So it's literally being held up by his fat belly.
Perhaps.
But so that'll be fun because they're going to be hard to kill.
They will be, but it was time.
They will be. I predict they will be hard for KO to deal with because there'll be lots of models that you can't kill all objectives.
Yeah, I mean it is. They were due a new battle tome. I think theirs was from 2018.
Yeah, something like that. They were like the first. They were like one of the battle tomes that was written in AOS 1 for AOS 2. Where it had all like summoning, and everyone was like, "Whoa, that doesn't work with summoning points." And then AOS 2 came out, so it's just a really old battle tome.
Plus they had the whole within instead of wholly within rules in their book. Yeah. If you fight Nurgle with Nurgle, just nothing happens because it affects Nurgle units.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, the one good thing that might come out of it, if it's this disease thing, is like if you're within 3 inches of them, then
it'd be horrible.
Hopefully, it won't affect us too much. We'll just stay away and shoot until they charge us.
Yeah, I hope it's not. Like they went to the whole safe stacking meta, and now they're fixing it with mortal wounds. That'd be a bit annoying. Yeah,
because until you've got mortal wounds, like the leftover armies will be
like you don't have board saves in KO, and you're not causing many mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So, well, let's see.
That's Nurgle. We'll do this one next.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed that it was just here's a mini and there's a book. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether that means there's more stuff coming at some point because it's not till December.
We heard a lot of rumors about there's 3 or 4 armies due a new book this year. So either everything got disrupted and is postponed to next year, and it's just Nurgle this year. I was expecting at least like a dual box and 2 battle tomes. Like, Beast of Chaos versus Gloomspike Kids or Ogres, for example. Like, here's a new box, here's the 2 new heroes, and you'll see these 2 new books.
Yeah, I think they've just been hit by everything that's happened and they haven't been able to release things.
Yeah.
As evidenced by Dragons. Which is also interesting
because what's happening with Dragons.
Well, they're coming in December as well. So we've got Dragons and Nurgle coming in December.
Plus, we know from 40k they have shown a release schedule, kind of, with images. They're still due, I think, at least 2 things. We have, November and December to go. It's not much time.
Yeah. But, I mean, it does make you wonder if this has been a bit delayed because of the Dragons.
I'm not sure if it's the Dragons. I think it's the whole schedule has been delayed since summer last year, when the whole Lumineth and Sons of Behemoth got pushed back. Then the whole Broken Realms got pushed back. Then, Kragnos came out. 2 weeks later, we had a new edition, whereas it was supposed to be at least a month between those, because the Kragnos book basically you can't use. You used for a week, and then you got new rules, and it was worthless. It's a bit. I think everything is getting pushed, and production and capacity and shipping is a bit.
I think there's
prioritizing.
been another issue later on since, because obviously we've got all the other Stormcasts, but not the dragons. So I think there's been a secondary issue later on.
I think it's the whole Brexit, Corona hiccup, plus maybe some
containers.
Container
issues,
and then maybe the tool broke for the dragons. I don't know.
No, I don't think anything broke the dragons. I think that's a shipping issue. I reckon they couldn't get them where they needed to, because obviously they make them in the UK. So really, but they don't want to just release them in the UK and not other places. So I think probably they had an issue getting them into America.
So it might be, because I know from a German online shop, they posted in July or August a picture of the open box with all the named dragons, the Karazai and Grondis inside. He's like, yeah, they are here. Blah blah blah. Come get them at the shop. So they've been sitting in the warehouse of this little shop since half a year. I don't know, 4 months now. Yeah. And I think they wanted to release them together with the book. Obviously, the book got postponed and everything. So they said, okay, you got them. Okay, keep them for now. Don't sell them. And I think now they're still waiting on the little dragons, the storm drakes, because they want to release them together. Or not every shop got them, or I mean, I've seen the same with our Warhammer shop, the official store in Munich. They got the Sylvaneth book, the old one that was postponed. They had the book there in the shop. Like, they got delivered in French, the French version to them, and they had it for 2 months. And and then they came out with a video. Yeah, there's being postponed, and there's a problem, and blah blah blah, and China printing. But some stores already had it, so there's been some disruption there. Some shops getting it, some not. It's weird.
Yeah, so there's obviously some like a problem somewhere, and that causes the whole world to wait because they want to release everything simultaneously, which is kind of fair enough.
I guess. Although they keep mentioning in their articles, like, if you are in Australia and Japan, you'll have to wait a month longer. So they're already doing this.
Yeah.
With some releases, or some, I think it was some of the toys they got and said, oh yeah, these will not be available before next year in your country.
So anyway, moving on to what this is, Dungeonbowl stuff.
Love it.
There's all sorts of stuff for playing Dungeonbowl.
There's a sprue.
There's a little plastic sprue.
You get the plastic sprue, you get the not unused Cursed City tiles.
Yeah.
And you get a mix of Bloodbowl team leftover box.
Yeah, because these are existing models, a lot of these, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I think all of them.
So they literally just like taking bits from one or two and then just mix and match them.
Basically, what this is, I think it's an easier board games, like more of a dungeon crawler style of Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
Which is maybe a gateway game to Blood Bowl, because they push Blood Bowl rather big with a new edition, new games, new rules. Maybe they want to bring more people into it. So this is like a kind of, I guess this is a game you can play with your kids. Okay, you take these rats and these elves and you rush through, try to get the treasure, bring it to your home location, and you ram some other players. So I don't know. I must say the bases on these guys are below creative. They're just lazy. They're just lazy. They took an airbrush and that's it. That's the base.
Yeah, and they literally just put something on to make like a little line, like a tile line.
Yeah, there was.
Like there's some airbrushed over the top of it.
I don't know. It looks like a floor pattern.
Yeah.
But it's not even 3-dimensional. It's just on the black base. They smooth down the base with sandpaper, sprayed it on, glued the guy on top. That's it. Which is, I think, is a bit lazy. But it's a gateway game. So you have a couple of dwarves in here. You have some gnoblers and some ogres, so you can play around. And if you like either of those 5 factions that are in this box, or 4 teams, so you can try out 4 play styles and then go and buy the team. for Blood Bowl, instead of just having 2 teams to try.
Yeah.
So it's like an appetizer little game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
It doesn't cost them much. They print some tiles, put it in a box. You have the rest of the stuff. Here's a little rule book with reduced rules. Cool.
I like the dwarf models. I've looked at the dwarf giants kit before and thought about using them for conversions and stuff. There's some interesting ones in there. I'm not sure. Do you know if they are multi-part kits or are they push fit? I assume they're multi-part kits.
I am not sure. They are plastic kits. I looked into them before for conversions. But I am not. I think they're monopose, but not push fit. But they are just the pose they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because what helped me off is like how easy it is to convert them with certain things. Because
I've seen some cool
bits you won't like.
Some taking the Slayers as Grimwrath Berserkers, or making Iron Breakers out of them with a more dynamic pose with a shield and a hammer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so and then some bits to put on the floor.
Cool. Treasure chests with Blood Bowl logo on top. You can easily scrap that off and put a dwarf rune on top. So that's cool basing material.
Although, I mean, you've probably got treasure chests already. Everyone's got treasure chests from something.
I don't know. I think I have one from one of the terrain kits, but it's like a Stormcast one. So these are cool.
And then Warcry. Warcry was more interesting. We knew this was coming because they reduced Warcry. Oh, that was the other bit of news. They reduced stuff. They actually reduced things.
Yes, because they can't. Their warehouse is full of those Dominion boxes, and they need to get rid of them. And the retailers are not getting rid of them. You can see retailers selling them for a huge discount because they need to get rid of them. They're just taking up space and cost and money. And so why would you ever go and buy how much is it in pound? 110, 120 used to be.
God, no,
a lot.
I think it was 120 and they've
120 pounds, or I think it was 155 euros for a box here in Germany. Why would you go and buy that if you find it for 100 at the retail?
Yeah.
So maybe that is one reason they cover it up as, here's a discount, Warhammer Day, we're great.
Yeah.
Maybe another thing they do is they're going to test out if discounts actually work.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
how big is the response to discounts on their sites?
Well, we know they do work because a lot of people buy things from third-party places that are cheaper. But whether they work for things that people don't want is another question.
That's the thing. If you want something specific, like you have an army in mind, you go and look for those bits on eBay or third parties.
And you buy them for the cheapest place. But
if it's something, so this is maybe a marketing thing they're investigating. Do discounts work for this? They don't. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it makes sense because traditionally in the past, the way they discounted stuff is they've lumped stuff together into a box and called it a such and such box, and there you go, you can get this. But with all the shipment issues and that's not necessarily an easy thing to do because you have to move stuff around, you have to repack it.
Yeah, plus Christmas boxes is always stuff like either it's old sprues, like come on, let's put these, repackage them into a couple of boxes. It's never the new stuff. So I doubt we'll see a Nurgle Christmas box, for example, or a Stormcast or Cruel Boys Christmas box. I doubt it because they're too new. Maybe Soulblight, I'm not sure. Maybe, but with the old kits in the range, so Graveguard and
Soulblight would be a good pick.
Although they had one 2 years ago, the Mortarch. They had a Mortarch, the old skeletons, and some of the.
Yeah, but KO had two, didn't they? They had one in 2018, one in 2020. I want to say.
Yeah, where they need to get rid of Brock.
Yeah, so they could do, but it's I mean, I don't think we're going to start seeing them suddenly reducing random kits to get rid of them, but the big stuff maybe. But this Warcry stuff is cool. Again,
it is great terrain.
Actually, is a relief in some ways because
bigger image maybe.
Yeah, I'll skip past these guys and we'll look at some
Let's
of the
look
big
at
bits of the
terrain.
terrain.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because the catacomb stuff, the terrain was a bit lackluster, I thought.
It was not easily usable for other stuff than that game.
Yeah.
Because it was
just like
little bridges or doorways.
archways, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this stuff is actually like far more interesting. It wasn't like the bridges and the archways were literally just like flat. You could almost imagine them being printed on cardboard and just used like.
Yeah, it was a bit lackluster. This one is cool. I love the style they have with the first Warcry box. And this one's like these ramshackle buildings. You could use these for KO if you clip away the.
There's just so much chaos stuff on them. Like
there's so much chaos stuff, but it's cool because it's what is it like an ore or Varanite?
Yeah, it's Varanite stuff, isn't it?
You could easily paint that gold and say it's a gold harvesting or mining thing. So with some love or some,
it was going to take a lot of work because there's just so much chaosy stuff.
Just add a bit of dwarfy bits and bling. What I like about these kits is they're great for like display boards.
Yeah.
Or even bases if you have a big dragon or an ironclad or something, an ironclad, you can stick that on it's a cool piece of base. Whereas since this is a skirmish game, they're not very useful for your AOS game. I think these terrain pieces, unless you stick them on a base.
This thing down here, like the big platform. Skydock,
or you can easily take the flat areas and make them walls, so they're just barricades. And play with those, some like line of sight cover. So these boxes it depends on the price, but these boxes are always cool for terrain pieces.
So it's a return to form, I think, after Catacombs, because that was a bit disappointing.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
Cool bits. Let's look at Conan.
We'll do this Conan first. Then. First of all,
no, that's not Conan.
Well, he's in this section, so, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. So first of all, dead elf heads.
Dead elf heads. That's an option. So he has a different hand. So if anyone,
you mean those bits might be spare.
Those bits are gold. Spare elf heads. Love it.
And you had a good idea. It didn't get brought up, but when I was on the Andy and Rem show the other day, I noticed it in the chat that those heads hanging off the front of an ironclad.
Fantastic. Yeah, just on the prow of the ship, put them there.
For their heads.
Or because it's a hand holding them, I can see Gotrek holding up severed heads. Fantastic. I took because he's carrying that weird rune thing in his hand. So my Gotrek, I gave him a beer mug, obviously. But I can see him carrying some chopped up elf heads. Fantastic. I might need to buy a second one, or even my second Boogman could get. I need to change it's a different hand. It's the left hand, right hand. But yeah, you could do that. Hands with elf heads always useful. So fantastic. Also, these are dark oaths. So apparently they're going back to the first Hero Quest game where they had the first Conan, the barbarian model, the Dark Oath Chieftain, and the Dark Oath Queen. I think her name was. So this range is coming back. Basically, what these are new Marauders. That's what they are.
I've just noticed this guy at the back. He actually looks to me a little bit like Nathan from the Honest World.
You mean because of the muscles and everything? Yeah.
No, I mean the face. Absolutely. I mean, obviously there's more facial hair. And the other weekend, I was at War of the Heartlands, and there was a picture. They had a photographer there, like a professional photographer at War of the Heartlands, and there's a picture of Nathan. He's like he's doing this, and he was obviously just saying like, "Oh, it's just one wound or something," but it looked like he was giving someone a right telling off, like "You dude," like cause he just looked angry in the picture for some reason. And
So we have an official Nathan Prescott.
We have an official Nathan Prescott.
Nathan Prescott miniature. He's a Marauder. Great.
Yeah. Not a
No,
Gloom's
basically
Guide.
these are marauders. If you swipe to the side, there's also what I like now. They more and more introduce also female
Mm-hmm.
miniatures. I mean, geez, these are tough women. They work out. Look at those abs.
Yeah, although this one's
Wow.
got like abs in the center of it also. Or is that
I
just a
think
weird
it's
angle?
a bit weird angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are cool marauders, new models. Cool.
Yeah.
There's a weird sorcerer guy as well, and there's
Wolverine.
Wolverine. So we have
Yeah,
Wolverine there,
Wolverine.
and I'm not sure if it's male or female. That sorcerer might be female, but she has thick legs. But that's cool.
Yeah.
And then we have the 1980s. Not yet. They're badass, these dudes. There he is, Conan the Barbarian.
This one's head looks a bit weird. Or like the head is too small for the neck. She's
look at the leg.
neck.
Look at the legs,
So...
those trunks. 3 trunks. Wow. And there he is, Conan the Barbarian, straight from the movie poster. Same pose, same hair. That's him. It's so cool.
Yeah, so
that must be like some Easter egg. They said, "Oh, well, just make this guy like Conan. Come on, let's do the same because it's the same pose, same sword, the long hair. They painted it black. That's it. Must be some inside joke."
Fry in the chat says, "Can't believe this poor Warhammer Day reveal is worth a new Aethercast."
Well, we like to talk hobby. Tarek.
Any excuse for an Aethercast, really. We didn't do one last weekend, so.
No, it's just talk hobby with other people than amongst ourselves.
Yeah, and then there's the insect people, which we finally had after being hinted about them for ages.
Are these the insect people from Kragnos? From Beastgrave? Are these the ones?
I don't know if they're the same ones, but this head kind of makes me think maybe it is.
Maybe. Could
I'm
be.
not
Could be.
keen on this particular model.
The model not, this one not, but the other ones are pretty sick. They went back to the 1990s Drukhari spikes on the legs, which they already had, but I love the pose, it's very dynamic.
Yeah, the pose is good. It's the horns at the back of the head, I think, are a bit odd.
Slip them off.
But yeah.
But these are cool.
I quite like
cultists. You can make some cool. You can make marauders out of these. You can make some cool chaosy warriors or whatever from these. I love if I play chaos, which I don't. These whole cultist war bands, which there are a lot of them now. You can make some very cool conversions with those. Great material.
Yeah, there's a lot of choice. Maybe at some point there'll be chaos dwarfs to tempt you in.
Well, there's one with the iron golem.
Well, yeah, there's one.
One little dwarf.
Yeah.
Look at these guys. Look at that guy in the back. Ninja style.
Cool.
They're cool.
Must have some ninjas.
Yep. No, they're pretty cool. Oh, this one with his net and trident. He's very cool. No, awesome minis.
Yeah, cool stuff. Cool terrain, cool models. I don't think there's anything in that kit that makes me think, yeah, I want to get that set. Whereas, like, I think the first one, there was some of the warbands piqued my interest a bit more. Just
the first one. What was it? Was the
Iron Golems?
The Iron Golems and the Savage guys with the lion, was it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. These are very similar. These Dark Oaths to the Savage boys. These are more classic barbarians, like from movies.
Yeah, these ones are.
But I mean, if you like Warcry, sure, you get the rules, you get the terrain, and you get 2 warbands. Why not?
Jojo, who's just correcting us, there's actually 2 Chaos Duardin. Because there's the Iron Golem and a Spire Tyrant. So, okay, and then Underworlds, which is actually where the coolest stuff is, I think.
Yes.
We have this dirty thief.
This thief with a gunnery sergeant's double-barreled Eva rifle.
Yeah. Although there's something slightly different about it. There's this little bit here. So I don't think that's on there.
Yeah, might be.
They've just added an iron sight, or what's meant to look like an iron sight. I think it's normally smooth there, or there's a bit
some.
Where it's.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
I can't remember, but yeah, it's just wielding it as a pistol, which is.
So yeah, we got a KO bit revealed. But he's cool. He's apparently is a new man-eater. Pirate, black powder, Blackbeard. I don't know. Yeah. So we saw. I think we saw some images from this as a rumor engine. I believe he's the guy that on his back has a little chest. And
probably we can't see his back in any.
So what I thought was that this was heralding a new ogre book or ogre release with a new hero, but apparently it's just, well, it might be this guy plus some new other stuff, but at least there's one man-eater. And they're cool. So they have two warbrands now. They have the Icebrow Hunter and a man-eater.
Yeah. Do you think that hand you'd be able to repurpose onto a Thunder or another KO model? So it's like
which one? The one carrying the gun?
Yeah, obviously the one carrying the gun is because it's going to be a massive hand, isn't it?
It is a massive hand. But I don't know the base size, but even the rifle looks bigger than the one on the dwarf.
Yeah, possibly. Unless he's quite. I don't know what size he is.
Well,
that rifle does look pretty big.
50mm bases.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it would be a cool pose to have just a guy holding a rifle down to one side. And then the other arm up with elf heads hanging down.
Could be. So you shot them off. Shot the heads off at the neck.
This guy. If you got rid of this and put a Longbeard shield there and a KO helmet.
That is a big dwarf.
He could just and put him on a 32mm base. He could just be your Thunderous Sergeant.
That's huge Thunderous. Oh, I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter because it'd just be on the side of the table anyway.
But you could what you could do is you take Dagnay Holden Stock.
Yeah.
Get rid of his axe hand, put in the severed heads, and then the harpoon on the other hand.
Yeah.
That work. But then finally the cool stuff from that box.
Yeah. The
monkey with a knife.
He's cool. Although I think because he looks kind of cute from that angle until you see his face. And then you realise he's proper angry, and I think from the front he'd be pretty scary. But,
and then two Nobblers.
Yeah.
Always cool.
Yeah.
And then the parrot.
That little bit could be handy for KO somehow.
Yeah, might be.
I
mean, the monkey you can put on an ironclad, like a powder.
Yeah.
Monkey. Even the parrot.
We've seen the bird before from a thingy. I think we didn't
Although
see the skull.
that bird is big. So if you put him on an angle, it's a big bird.
That's only a 25mm base, isn't it? But
still is a bit like I'm comparing it to my frigate I have here. I think that's one big bird. I can sit on. He's like almost the size of a balloon.
You could put him on the prow, right on the prow of the boat. Well,
Not
pretty
sure.
cool.
Not sure.
Might
be a bit big.
Maybe.
And then a peg-leg Nobbler.
And then these things. None of these things I need.
Whatever, Warbands.
Oh, the peg leg thing. No,
there is. No, go back. Go back.
Oh yeah, peg leg.
The number.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see that. It's a cool, isn't he?
He's cool. They're fun. Fun warband.
Yeah, of the warbands, I think they're pretty cool. Yeah. So I mean, that's all the reveals.
Was it?
So was it? Oh well.
Well, yeah.
Unless you count 40k, which I guess we'll have a quick look at the teams.
Well, they have a new mixed box, so Custodes and Gene Stealers, two new heroes. There's not much in that box if you look at it.
Ghostbuster stuff. There is Ghostbuster stuff if you want to make Ghostbuster fun.
Yeah, some even the backpack you can use.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So there's some cool stuff. The shame that hand is probably like part of it.
I mean, it's just two sticks. So you can figure something out.
Yeah. But
should go. But there's not much in the box. That's surprised me is basically it's a hero, 3 bigger Custodes dudes, and a unit of 5. There's not much in the box.
So I see a picture that shows everything in the box.
The first image on top.
Don't go past it. Whoa.
There. Up. No. Too fast.
Where is this one?
Yes, that one.
I thought there might be like a just a background.
No. So it's a new sort of captain dude, Space Marine. I don't know. 5 Sisters of Silence and 3 Custodes. Yeah. It's not much in a box. Maybe it's me, but I have the impression that these boxes get smaller and smaller with the amount of models you get in them.
Probably. Yeah, they get a bit smaller. I mean, this gun here is... I've got one of them. There's... Gene Stealer Colts do have some cool stuff for to repurpose for kick.
Yes, but I think maybe the AdMeg is more towards our style.
Yeah, but you can mix and match. You can bring them both in. Cool.
So there's a question in the chat from Jay Durfo, who is asking if after Mega King update, Custodes and Gene Stealers updates, do you think KO and Faceless can count on anything new other than maybe a hero? So, I don't think KO and Faceless will see anything new until the new book.
Yeah, there'll be 2
maybe
heroes.
A new Fire Slayer's Underworlds warband, maybe because there's rather old. The Fuel Grimnir and his 3 dudes. And then the new book, I don't think there will be new units. There will be a Grombrindal model, maybe another hero, and then there will be a new range, what I heard, for a new dwarf race.
Yeah, the question...
They are the third race or the third section of the book, so it's a free army book.
There's 2 questions. One is, will there be a Grungy model? Can we fairly sure there'll probably be a Grombrindal one?
I'm pretty sure there's a Grombrindal one. I doubt Grungy, because that would be kind of, same as Sigmar, and I don't think we'll ever see a Sigmar model.
Fair.
So, and he made Grombrindal to be his avatar. So I think him, and then apparently a new Clockwork Dwarf faction that's been hinted or talked about. So a couple of kits for that, and then like Rule Boys, they got a couple of kits. They actually got quite a lot of kits. So maybe not that many. And then here's a new book, and you can play the Fire Slayers and the KO inside there, and everyone's happy. But I don't think we'll see a new, sort of infantry for KO, or I don't think.
No, probably not, especially if all these production issues. I mean, it's either going to be... Because it could go 2 ways. It could either be really small or it would be massive, couldn't it? It's cruel.
I don't.
Is huge.
I don't. It's... Yeah, because you think like Lumineth, because that's huge. It's not done yet. There's more and more stuff coming. The thing is with GW, they make new rules and new kits if the designers want to design a new model. So if they don't feel like making, that's why Fire Slayers are not getting anything new, because they're not designing another naked dwarf infantry unit with axes.
They're not excited by it, are they?
No, they are not. And there's no big demand justifying it. It's not like everyone's buying Fire Slayers off the shelves. Same with KO, I think. And the KO, actually, if you look at it, there's a decent amount of units. Yes, most of them.
Awkward thing for KO is, first of all, I think they do like designing KO models. Hence why we got Bugman. Hence why we got Dagny Hole and stuff.
Yeah,
they like doing it, but equally,
they are KO are the only dwarfs they like to design. They don't like to design Fire Slayers. They're not designing any standard dispossessed, because everyone can make a dispossessed. You can buy a classic dwarf with a shield and axe from every mini manufacturer. It's not unique enough. So maybe some KO hero. I'm not sure.
Do we need another hero?
No, we don't. We don't really. We need maybe an option, like
hero boat,
gunholder or hero gunholder. It's the same model, just with different rules. Like Steam Tank and Steam Tank with Commander.
Yeah.
make that maybe an option. Or because I think the range for KO is enough. We have 2 different sky riggers. We have the Thunders, the Arcanauts, 3 ships.
It would be nice to have
That's 8 different things.
Alternative to Thunderers as like a melee unit, I think.
Not if you're getting put in the same book with Fire Slayers.
No, that's the trouble.
Because they're called Earthguard Berserkers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
that's
potentially
like,
they could do
yes, people want a little cavalry unit for Fire Slayers, but
like salamandery type things.
Yeah, first that's it. No army has everything except Bloomley. So that's not the theme. The theme is very hard in melee but slow. And maybe they have the magma drops, but they're shit. And then if they're getting put together with KO, then you have the fast units. You have your engine riggers moving 12. You have your gun holders and frigates. So I don't see that happening. We have discussed this before, Lee, when we are debating what kind of army will be these new Clockwork Dwarfs be.
Mm-hmm.
Will they be elite? Like, will they be artillery? Will there be like stalkers, like units of 3 but big bases, melee or shooting? Because they have to be different. They can't be full melee because that's fast. They can't be full shooting because that's KO. So they have to be what makes them different from these 3 options.
Mm.
So, for example,
the
if you look
Clockwork thing makes them sound sort of KO-ish as well. They're
sort
of
of KO-ish.
Steampunk aesthetic, aren't they?
I'm not sure if it's steampunkic or if it be some other technology, more towards less like gears and steam and engines, but more towards
whatever it is.
I don't know, whatever technology it is.
Soul power.
It might be soul power because what we heard is Grogny is taking the dwarf souls of the old world. So not the Duardin, but the actual dwarves, and putting them into some kind of bodies, machines, whatever.
Maybe because Varanite's their current thing that they like talking about. So maybe
Realmstone basically is there.
Powered by Varanite or Realmstone or something. Who knows?
And the main question is then what happens to the cities of Sigmar dwarves? Will they stay their own with the cities? Will they join? Will be able to join? Can you play them in both, or will they just vanish because they say it's such an old range, we want to get rid of it? We can't IP it. Let's be done with it. And these new dwarves will just basically be dispossessed. So shield wall, some shooting, and horde.
I'm not going to go out and buy any old dispossessed kits because I don't think they're going to have a place for much longer. I mean,
well, I think Iron Drakes will be around at least a year.
Yeah.
So I might invest into 10 more to have 30. Yeah. But don't go out there and buy loads and loads of cocksmiths. Or
the cogsmith, if it is like a Clockwork Army, the cogsmith could be part of it.
Might be a couple of heroes to enhance shooting. It might be some sort of, because we had organ guns and we had the flamethrower guns in fantasy, and we had the catapults, the grudge thrower, so stationary artillery. Maybe that's their thing. They're coming back to that. So good shooting, but not mobile.
Yes, good long range shooting. Yeah,
long range shooting, and then units that build a castle. So a classic castle build. Shield wall, guns behind.
Maybe they could shoot 30 inches and not need line of sight. That'd be pretty good.
Oh, if there's going to be a castle, it's going to be 28 inches.
Yeah.
And a single shot hitting on force. Something like that.
Does D6 damage.
This is rumored to be, or our sources tell us, end of the next summer campaign. Like story.
The other question is...
Not before Christmas 2022.
I don't know if we mentioned it on the show before, but we also know that there's some Valaya stuff coming at some point.
I think maybe we've talked about it. Yes. So we know that the Chaos Dwarfs have been pulled from the Forge World shop, the Legion of Asgore, a while now, maybe a year ago. And basically what we have heard, it is not confirmed, but it is a source I trust, but who knows? Maybe they changed the ideas. That Valaya is being resurrected by Rugni. So Valaya is the goddess of the dwarves, the third dwarf god. So there's Grimnir, who knows where he went, or if he's still alive, or he's shattered in Urgold. Well, he got exploded, but maybe he's somewhere around. Who knows? There's Grogny, and there's Valaya, but she never showed up. No one ever knew when the new AOS world came to be. There was no sight of her. No one knows where she is. So there was always the rumor that Grogny is actually working on getting her back, finding her, because she's his wife. And the rumor or the hint we got, the spoiler, if you don't want to hear this, cover your headphones, shut them off, mute now. So she's coming back, but she's not impressed by anything that's going on. She's not cool with Sigmar and his pantheon, and Morathi being a god now, and she said, well, screw this, I'm doing my own thing. And she takes off with so-called Oathbreaker dwarves and doing her own faction. So a new reincarnation of Chaos dwarves. We don't know if they're actually Chaos or if they're just like, Daughters of Cain. They're order, but they're not nice people. They are evil witches, sorry.
Yeah, or they are nice people, but they don't ally themselves with.
They don't agree,
Sigmar.
and they're so-called oath breakers apparently. So they somehow will not work with Rugni. They don't agree, and they follow her and do their own business. That's the idea. Maybe even the new Rugni Clockwork dwarves are these guys, and they just bugger off. They say, "Oh, you made us, but what is this? No, we don't like this. Who are these Duardin people? We are dwarves. Let's go."
Yeah.
Maybe that's, and then they're because Chaos dwarves are like they put demons into machines. So maybe they're dwarf souls inside machines. I don't know. So they break their oath instead of following Grogny and doing what he wants. They actually say, "No,
we're going to follow Valaya instead."
We follow Valaya, break our oaths, and be the new bad dwarves. Who knows?
Okay, well, that'd be interesting.
Yep.
Cool. So, I mean, we talked about all of the stuff. We do have some KO lists we could look at since we've only been on for a little while.
Sure. Lists from where?
From, I can't remember the name of the tournament. It's called Axe something.
Axe. Axe is always a good name.
But it's in Australia. And it's a team tournament.
That's cool.
So these are the teams, and there's a few KO lists. I think there is also.
Is a 4-man team?
Yeah.
Or 6 man?
Like 6-man by the looks of it.
That's
because
cool. Okay.
I think there's 3 KO lists and 1 cities list that has got an ironclad in it and some gun holders. If I can find them.
Can you just search for KO? Search for Kharadron.
The first one.
So there it is. Will Bromley. Will Bromley.
Yes.
That name is. I recognize the name.
Yes. Well, it was Will that sent me these lists. So, there's some issues with his in the sense that they just missed some stuff off it when they copied and pasted or something. So it's a custom skyport list. So he has got the thing to reroll ones against flyers, the extra gold, and the retreat and charge and shoot, or run and charge and shoot thing. There's no trading with some people. His general is the chemist with collector, and then the chemist has spread in the bottle, which it doesn't say on there. And then he has an Endrin Master of Endrin Harness, a Navigator, and the Admiral, which has got Arcane Tome. 40 Arcanauts, 1 unit 20, 2 units of 10, 3 riggers, a gun haul over drill cannon, frigate, an ironclad, and that's all in Battle Regiment and Alpha Beast Pack. And he's got Geminids and Warp Lightning Vortex.
So he has 1 chemist with a spell in a bottle.
And he has the Admiral of Arcane Tome. So the
Okay, how is he accessing the second artifact?
Because he has Collector. because it's custom skyport. So
Okay, and that's why he can take 2 endless spells. Okay. Because the spell bottle requires you to choose one. So you cannot take 2 and then during a battle choose this or that. You actually need to put it in the bottle when writing the list. So I guess it's the Warp Lightning Vortex, because that's harder to get off.
And the Admiral wouldn't be able to cast Warp Lightning Vortex.
True. Yeah, because it's escaping a spell. And then the Geminids. Interesting. And then he's trying to go down to, what is it? A free drop.
Yeah, it's free drop because of Alpha Beast Pack.
Free drop, he can move both ships.
4, actually, because he's got 4 heroes.
Yeah, the Navigator is not in there.
Yeah, so he's got 4 heroes. So it's actually
4 drops. Okay, banking on Alpha Beast Pack, pre-game move with 4 drops. Okay, not sure. I don't know their meta, how many drops they usually have.
Yeah. But it's teams, so obviously don't pair it against something that's low drop.
Well, if the entire opponent's army is 1 drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, so what is his plan here? He's trying to go in, throw out the Geminids, so no all-out defense. Vortex, mortal wounds. Does he have a? No, he doesn't have a flare pistol. And then just pew 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 with 3 ships. And the Endrin rig is, if he uses the Alpha Beast Pack move, he can move again, so he can even get the 20 Arcanauts inside the Ironclad into range. So it looks to me his role in this team event is to go in, alpha shoot. Like Luminef, so take away the foxes or the sentinels. Against Morathi, take away the bow snakes. Against Seraphon, Dracovian Tail, take away the slan. That kind of thing. But I'm not sure he'll be able to do it because those lists usually are 1 or 2 drops. And they won't let him. But might be wrong. But it's interesting that we see more and more custom skyports.
Yeah. Well, I think Alpha Beast Pack kind of pushes you towards it because
because if you go Zilfin, you can't. Yeah, because the frigate is a battle line and not a behemoth anymore.
And the retreat and shoot with the rulings, with the FAQ ruling on flying high and disengaging. That's got better basically. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's 2,000 on the nose as well, so you won't get any trial. See if I can find one of the others. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Glen Taylor on the right there.
Glen Taylor. Mark Zilfin.
Navigator General. Which the Navigator, can he have Master Commander?
I think it needs to be an Admiral.
Definitely the first Admiral has to have it. Whether another hero can have it is interesting.
Pretty sure it is Admiral keyword.
So that's interesting, but then he probably doesn't really want it anyway. Staff of Rocket Optimization, Spell in the Bottle on the Chemist, Endrin Master of Endrin Harness, 2 units of Arcanauts, 2 frigates, 2 units of 3 frigates, 2 units of 10 thunders of rifles, by the looks of it, the Gun Hauler, Soul Snare, Shackles, and Command Entourage, and some Hunters of the Heartlands.
Okay, so all the drops.
Yeah.
He has double
drops.
frigate, each with 10 thunders inside, which means either his ships are rather slow or the heroes are on foot? Or is the gunholder has the gunholder a compartment? Maybe they didn't print it.
Yeah, because we know there
presume
was some
it must
issues
be.
with different.
Must be a gunholder.
Because there's no end room works listed at all, is there?
Yeah.
So maybe it's got compartments.
I guess he has the compartments to stick in the heroes. But
so
he has the
can go-
shackles. He has the shackles inside the spell and book.
Mhm.
Interesting. Because the shackles are good, but you throw them out in your turn, and then it's the enemy's hero phase. He can dispel them and still charge.
Mhm.
And with the people running around currently in the meta, I don't know, what are the casting value of 6? Shackles?
Seven. I think. So they need an 8.
Yeah, but they all come with some sort of pluses.
Yeah. I mean,
not sure.
My Warp Lightning Vortex gets dispelled quite often. So if that's getting dispelled on a 9, then Shackles getting dispelled on an 8.
Yeah. So personally, I've not been convinced by Shackles for KO yet.
Mm-hmm.
He has some healing. He has a navigator, which is always good in this edition. He has the ender because he can send it with the boat, so they can either screen the boat, or repair them, or do some fighty. Mm-hmm. With the Ren 2 sword, so that's 4 attacks. Ren 2 D3 damage, not bad.
Ren 2 is really good at the moment.
It is really good.
It's not mortal wounds, but
it's not. Trying to figure out what the plan is with this list. So what is his role in this team? Because team lists always have a specific role they need to fulfill, or they want to fulfill. So they're specialized for this, basically.
Go up against slower armies and play from 18 inches away?
Like what?
I don't know. But that's how the list wants to play, is from 18 inches away. Probably, because you've got the rifles and you don't need to be up close.
Basically, rifles just means, you can stay far away with the ship and you're not planning to throw them out.
And because you're further away, the Shackles has more value because then they do have a harder charge.
They don't have a charge.
Yeah, they don't have a charge.
I mean, Shackles are good against giants if they don't have the lantern dude.
Yeah, because the thing with Shackles is it's actually quite a small area, isn't it? So if you're really close to them, like if you're 9 inches away, they move out of Shackles range and then charge you.
Charge back in. But it is the Shackles need to form a triangle of 3 inches each.
Yeah.
Plus 6 inches around. It's okay. You can block off an objective with that.
Yeah.
It is shooting, but high drop, so you can see where his opponent puts his stuff, or because he wanted the battalion abilities and didn't care because he says I can stay out of range. I put my army in a corner and then I move out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? It definitely can do stuff. My problem with frigates is just the D6 shots.
Oh yeah, or D6.
It makes them really unreliable, like a gun holder. And they, like when you need them, they can be 10 shots each, or 5. And that's annoying if it's only one rend damage 2. So loads of those kept saved, and then you end up doing 2 damage with a ship for 250 points.
Yeah, and then sometimes you'll try and use the cannon in a single shot mode, which is okay until you then roll low for the damage.
Yep. Much better with the Ironclad where it's just flat 6.
Yeah. Okay. So I think there's one more. Also, keep an eye out for Ironclads and City of Sigmar lists. Because there is one.
Can't you just, words search in the document?
But then they wouldn't come up necessarily the Ironclad one. Okay, just here we go. Search. Connor Woodward on the right here. Urbaz, yes, I remember Urbaz one. Yes.
Okay.
And the grand strategy is Vendetta, which I can't even remember what that one is.
It is you kill the opponent's warlord while your warlord stays alive.
Okay,
Which
so
is risky. It is risky.
First, this is interesting, right? Okay, so he's got an admiral as his general with War Wound, which is where you get extra CP on a 2+, which is good. CP is an interesting thing with KO because I find I either have too much of it or not enough. I never, depending on whether you're taking second or first in the turn.
Yep.
If you're taking second, you have far too many. If you're taking first, you don't have enough. You kind of need that middle ground. A Navigator of Voidstone Orb, and then Endrin Master of Endrin Harness.
Always good, yeah.
2 units of 10 Arcanauts, 2 Gun Haulers, so 4 Battle Line units, 5 Thunderers, an Ironclad, a Frigate, another Frigate, and Linebreaker Battalion and Battle Regiment. So he's got a lot of ships.
Him how many drops? 5? Scroll down a bit, please.
It doesn't say drops on there. Sometimes it tells you the drops on War Scroll Builder, sometimes it doesn't. But Battle Regiment, there is...
Well, what's in the Battle Regiment?
Yeah, the Endrin Master's not in the Battle Regiment for some reason, but he could be.
The Frigate are not.
No, because they're in the Linebreaker, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 drops.
No, but the Ironclad is in the Battle Regiment. Why is it not in the Linebreaker?
I don't know. But it's 4 drops, it could have been 3 though. Okay. I don't know why the Endrin Master's not.
Because you need the hero in the Linebreaker.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I remember that now. So
all the ships.
1960, so good chance of getting a
Triumph, and he's got a lot of ships. So 1 Ironclad, 2 frigates, 2 gun haulers. That's cool. That's similar to Jeremy's list that we've spoken about recently. The new
doesn't say
team captain.
It's got Breath of Morgrim. I was going to say it doesn't say Endrin Master, but it's got Breath of Morgrim on something.
Yeah, he has to.
So I mean, Voidstone Orb is good. I like War Wound.
With CP?
It's
CP, but then Urbaz for the gold. Why do you need a gold?
Well, for
what's the reason to go Urbaz with this list?
Gun Haulers Battle Line.
Just go Zilfin and it's Frigates Battle Line.
Frigates Battle Line, yeah. And you get extra. Then you can have War Wound.
You can have 6-inch runs. You get rerolls for your 5 ships.
Yeah, you'd lose War Wound.
Flyers. You'd lose War Wound, yes. And you'd lose the Linebreaker, which I don't even remember what it does.
It's like an extra command. You get all out attack, all out defense without spending a CP.
Okay.
So it's fairly good, but
it is pretty good.
You're still using that CP, that command ability, so you can't use that as well as using.
You don't get the orb because you're forced with stuff with ocular optimization in Zilfin.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's probably the reasoning for those choices. I love that it's all the ships. That's cool.
Yeah.
I own all these ships, but I've never painted them all. Just painting my first frigate now. I can't be bothered to paint another one because it's taking me ages. All these rivets for highlighting. But that's cool. But what else do we have in the list? Basically, it's a couple of heroes, 3 heroes, ships, and 2 units of 10 company just jumping around on objectives.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see this amount of ships with a flare pistol. Because that's a lot of damage. Or in Zilfin with reroll 1s against certain enemies that are flyers. Because that can do some severe damage.
Yeah, the reroll 1s is really actually pretty good in Zilfin.
It is.
When you do come up against the things that you can use it on.
And there's stuff. We have creative converted miniatures in the channel. I don't know who you are. Did I miss my list being reviewed? We are reviewing the third one now, so I guess if this is not yours, but you can always
Yes, I don't
go
know if
back and
that's
watch it on
Will,
YouTube.
maybe.
Maybe it's Will. Will, is this you?
I
Respond with death to all elves.
like the way that every show now is just like, which Will are you? Because there's just everyone that plays Kharadron Overlords, no matter which country you live in, is called Will. So yeah, have we done them all? Glen, Connor.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
we had. And then you said there was Will Bromley. Yes, you were the first one.
Yes.
In the review. Sorry,
Where
you
is
missed it.
Is this it? Here we go.
Gunholder,
Stephen
Ironclad in a Tempest Eye. Fantastic.
He says
do we
he's
have?
the Will.
The one and only Will Bromley.
Stephen Fitzpatrick is a name I recognise either from the Facebook group or maybe from looking at a list before. But
I recognise his name from, I think, YouTube. So people talking about him. So maybe he's some famous Australian player.
Okay.
I guess because he's the Will. Maybe he made some cool content. I don't know. But the name rings a bell. Sorry, I don't know who you are. We have Steve Fitzpatrick with Cities of Sigmar, Tempest Eye. That's cool. And then it stops being cool because there's an elf in there. Black Arc Fleet Master.
Yeah.
Although
the things that the elf has make sense. Hawkeye and Patrician's Helm. Battleship Community and
then why would a Rune Lord ever be an adjutant to an elf? Like, come on, people. Come on, what is wrong? We have a Celestial Hurricane with Battle Mage because it's a cities list. And then we have an Assassin, which we see more and more. And the fun thing is, Assassins, they can do some fun tricks. Because you don't need to choose which unit they pop out of start of the game. I think that's still the case. So when someone is in combat, you can just say, oh, and here's my Assassin. Plop. Put him on the objective. That's another two units counting, so to say. Counting as two. And he can do some mortal wounds. I'm not sure what the Vial of Manticore Venom does. It's a universal artifact, but might be good. Like, you just jump out of the unit, go on a hero.
Yeah, universal artifact that you can't remember what it is means it's not as good as Amulet of Destiny, obviously.
Okay, I'm not sure what it does. Basically, assassins, they pop out, they do something, and then next turn they die. But it's good to have hero. They're a hero. They can do hero things. They can use command abilities. And then he has Black Arc Corsairs. Black Arc Corsairs. Chariot, Black Arc Corsairs. That's a lot of Corsairs for painting. They all have a shot. I'm not sure the repeater handle has a long range.
The Vial of Manticore Venom gives the assassin +1 to wound on one of his melee weapons.
And if I think he only has one profile. So that's cool. Good.
Makes him more killy when he does jump out somewhere, basically.
Yeah, that's his job. He jumps out, he's trying to kill something. If he doesn't, then that's it. Then mainly he's gone after that.
I do kind of like at least the elves he's got are kind of pirates.
They are pirates. They all shoot. Even the chariots shoot. And then you have the two gun holders, and an Ironclad with two gun holders can still do damage. Repeaters have 16 inches, but only hit on a 5. But then with the Hurricanum, they hit on a 4, and they wound one better with the Hawkeye trait. Plus, if someone charges those, that's a lot of shots. I think they have 2 shots each, so that's 60 shots coming at you. So you're going not quality of shots, but just number of dice, so it doesn't matter how much saves they stack, eventually some will go through. Okay, cool. It's a lot of bodies. And then because it's a static castle, 6-inch move for elves, but you're staying there with a lot of bodies, but then you have the 2 chariots and the 3 ships jumping around, causing mayhem and taking objectives, so that could work. What I don't like, there's no hero for the Kharadron thing. Yeah,
it would be really cool if
it's a shame.
You had a KO hero, or even actually, as a general, would be cool to give the Ironclad +1 to wound. But yeah, I mean, it's also good to have it with that big 30 block.
Sorry, we have a cat situation here.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice because obviously the Ironclad and the Gun Haulers can't issue commands themselves.
That's the thing. I'd like to have a hero there to give a,
Yeah, they get charged. They can't
+1 to
have
hit
defense.
or
They can't.
unleash shield.
They can't unleash hell. So yeah, it's a shame.
Which is a shame. So it would be nice, but it's hard to get 4 coalition.
Can they? When do they get the assassin out of a unit? And does it have to be? Can they get the assassin out of a ship?
I think it needs to be
A unit of like 10
with
models or something.
1 wound or less models.
Oh, okay.
Can't be a high wound model unit. I mean, assassins. That's something I've not looked up in a long time. Assassin. Here we go. Learn with us. So they have 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, and now wounding on 2s. 1 ren, 1 damage. But if the unmodified wound roll is a 6, it inflicts D3 mortal wounds. So, and then instead of setting up this model on the battlefield, you can place it to one side and say that it's set up in hiding as a reserve unit. If you do so at the start of the combat phase, you can set up this model within 1 inch of a friendly cities of Sigma unit, so it cannot go into gun haulers. No, they actually get the cities keyword now again.
Yeah, they do.
That has 5 or more models and a wounds characteristic of 1. So basically,
no,
a D
not the
for 6.
shits.
Just a Crusaders. And if it's not showing up before the 4th round, it's slain. Okay.
Yeah, so
what else it does? Basically, it's a hero. You get the entourage because it's a small hero. It's 80 points. It's one of the cheapest heroes. It's either an assassin or a cocksmith for 60 points or 70 or whatever he is now. But it's a lot of shots, a lot of bodies. Can cause some trouble for some lists. Not sure you're getting a Gargant down with this amount of shots.
No. How many shots is it in total?
620 plus whatever the ships have, so that's 14 plus 2d6. Damage 2.
4 from the
and then you have
torpedoes.
the chariots. The chariots each have 3, maybe a 4. I'm not sure. It is a lot of shots. And if they all stay together, they all have +1 and a +1 to wound, +1 to hit. Yeah.
Because potentially the Ironclad can just be doesn't necessarily have to fly high somewhere, does it?
No, it doesn't, because it's 13 inches, 13-inch move the first turn, and not 2+ save, and a 6 up feel no pain from the gun haulers.
How fast does the Hurricane move now?
It starts at 10 inches, I think.
Yeah.
So first turn it goes 13 inches, plus it can run and shoot with a command ability in Tempest die, so it could go 19, 20 inches because they get +1 to run in Tempest die, so 20 inches plus an 18-inch shot.
Okay, so you could just fly high your ships just within its bubble.
10-inch aura, I think.
But then you've also
I think the ruling is still models within range. Range. So that's the thing. It used to be models, not units. I'm not sure if they changed that actually. Let me check. Hurricane. Portents of battle, I think is the rule. Models within range. Yeah. So basically, if you're within 9.9,
yeah. So you 1 millimeter of the Ironclad's base
is within 10.
So you could easily have the ships on +1 to hit. Getting them on +1 to wound would be more difficult.
Yeah, because the fleet master cannot keep up.
No.
Well, that's okay. They can. How many points is this? 2,000. No triumph. They don't get gold. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's scary. For some armies, this is scary. Like, what do you do against this?
Yeah.
Because even the 30 guys, they can run and shoot for a command point. So they're going 12, and if they're shooting, I think Will said 16 inches. So they can run potentially. Not sure if they have a musician to give them another +1. I'm not familiar with the elves, but I've guessed because all the cities units get a +1 from the banner or the musician, and then they get another +1 from Tempest. So they're going 8, 40, 30-inch threat range with 60 shots.
Yeah. And the thing that Will's
Not bad.
brought up in the chat is they're relying a lot on that Fleet Master.
Yes.
Which is a very squishy general.
Well, I mean, he has the honor retinue.
Does he have a 3+ or a 4+ save?
The Fleet Master, I'm pretty sure, not better than a 4+. Maybe even
I mean,
a 5+.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had a 5, maybe.
Might be.
I mean, if he had a 3+ save, then anything.
Oh, first turn
be...
he has a +1, so that's good. And I'm not sure if the Crusaders, if they don't get a better save against shooting with their dragon skin cloaks, I think they have the same rules as Iron Drakes. People, we're learning all about elves today. Core Black Crusaders. They're running around on a 5+, so I imagine him having a 4+. But Sea Dragon Cloak, I want to save rolls for attacks with missile weapons. I remembered correctly. So they get a +2 in the first turn. +2 save, so they mitigate 1 rend of shooting against themselves. It's not bad. And how many drops is this? Does it say?
He's got a battle regiment and a command entourage, so it's going to be at least 4.
4. It is scary. You let him start, he goes forward, he shoots you with a lot of stuff, with all the ships, maybe even with the Hurricanum missile, mortal wound shot, and the 30 unit. And if you go back at him, he has they're sitting on a +1 save, and then Unleash Hell, they're doing it all again. Hitting on 5s now, but still, it's a amount of dice.
You're going to be caught between 2 issues, because you can't ignore the Ironclad with 2 gun haulers sitting next to it. No. And you can't ignore the big block of stuff shooting you from the other side of the board.
Yep.
So which way do you go?
And he can easily block like pathways with the chariots, because they come on big bases. I think the chariots even have the frigate size. They're big. They're big bases.
Yeah, that's big if it's a frigate size base.
I'm not sure, but they're rather wide bases, the chariots. Not sure. So you can use those two to just block people off. And they're rather quick. There's a couple of wounds in there. Yep. Interesting list. Definitely not something you see so often.
Yeah. So I don't know when this tournament is.
Will, when is the tournament?
Will tell us in a minute, probably. But it'd be interesting to know how some of these lists get on. With it being a team tournament.
I love team tournaments. The format is very interesting because you don't have to build an all-comers list, but you have specific lists, and then through pairing, basically, you decide if a team wins or not. If you have bad pairings, then that's half of the victory. Next weekend. Fantastic.
Okay, cool.
So, if you know if there's some way to see how these lists fare or some results, let us know. Be interesting to see how they did.
Yeah. Well, good luck to all the KO players. Hopefully they won't get matched against each other with the pairings, because that's
No, people you probably try. KO are usually paired as the attacker, because you don't want to put them as a defender, because they're not good in defending or getting too hard lists against them. They want to be the attacker, so either you choose them and they play against something else, or you put them down against something you're confident in.
Well, Will saying you can get the TA to pass results on to us. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Have a look, see what happens. So
the future, is there anything we're looking forward to? Is there anything happening? Any tournaments for you?
I've got Bobo in just under a month. Last weekend of November, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a 1 day of the weekend before, which I probably should go to. I just haven't spoken to my fiance about it yet. But I do need the practice, as evidenced by my recent tournament result. Where I didn't do very well at all. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to get my Celestial Prime painted in time, because I haven't put any paint on him yet.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to take a different list. I mean, going back to that tournament I went to, I didn't think it was the list that was at fault necessarily.
Okay. What was your list for?
For War in the Heartlands, it was... Oh god, now I've got to try and remember what my list was. A frigate, an ironclad, 10 thunderers with mixed weapons, but no fumigators, 10 thunderers with rifles, 2 units of arcs, an incanter, 2 navigators, and a chemist, and a warp lightning vortex, and flare pistol.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some good stuff. I think the only thing I would change if I kept that list is I would have the last word rather than the battle ram. I used a battle ram once in 5 games.
Uh-huh.
It did kill a Mega Gargan, but I would have killed the Mega Gargan anyway, probably without the battle ram, because it had 2 wounds left. So I would have charged it and then dropped bombs, and hoped for a 2. And then if I didn't get a 2, hoped kill him with something else, I don't know. Or not charged him. But yeah, last word would have been helpful. More, I think. Mm-hmm. People did not shy away from charging that ironclad.
Yeah. Or they charge something else first.
Mm. So yeah, the list was okay. No, I should have had more practice before going.
Okay.
But yeah, Bobo in about a month. How about for you? Anything coming up?
Yes, next weekend I have a 1-day tournament here in Hof. It's not too far away. Where I went the first time I played the Prime back in 2nd edition.
Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning Hof before.
Yeah, so we went there and going back for the 3rd time now with the Prime again, because now he has a 4+ ward. He must be better now. Yeah, with a 2-drop Zilfin list, and that's why I'm painting up my first frigate. Highlighting now metals and stuff, so I think I'll have it done by next weekend. Going there, and I think most of the German AOS team will be there, so that's fun. That's also one reason why I'm going, just to meet the guys again, because they live elsewhere in Germany and play some games. I don't expect to win with KO, but maybe 2 victories would be nice. And then 1 week later, there's another one, which is rather big. It's, I think, now up to 34 or 36 players, also 1-dayer. And I'm still debating what to play there. Unfortunately, I need to send in the list on Friday next week, so 1 day before the tournament, so I cannot test out this list I'm playing with Zilfin, Frigate Prime, and Thunderers, and then change it. I recently played my Fire Slayers again after 1.5 years into Gargans on Thursday with Gotrek, but he didn't do much because he failed all his 6-inch charges. And I must say I really enjoyed playing Fire Slayers again. They're fun. They're just a fun army. There are obviously some bad matchups for them, but I'm debating maybe play Fire Slayers. Plus, everything's painted. Just take it and play. Might be interesting. I'm tempted. Either that, or I'll glue together some Blood Knights and play Nagash and Blood Knights just for the fun of it.
At least stick to dwarves.
Because that's the new project for next year. This year and next year is the Soul Blight. I have mostly everything glued together now for the first armies I can play and test. Need to make the bases and paint them. But yeah, so I think after I have painted the frigate, I'll move on to painting something else. Maybe some vampires or skeletons, just to have a change. Unless I need the third unit of Arcanauts because they're still only primed. So I'm not sure what to play. I'd like to take KO also because of painting points, and there's a best painted competition, and the KO have won me already 2 best painted prizes, and the Prime has won me a best painted single miniature, which I believe was mainly for the conversion, not for the paint job. But I'll take it.
Yeah.
So at least then I'm winning something, not even if I come last, and at least you get a little prize. Yeah, here's this little painting trophy, and you drive home, not crying to yourself. So that's always nice. But I know there's a lot of people coming, and there's a lot of good painters. So
yeah, I mean, once you get to the bigger tournaments, it's you do get.
There's competition.
Yeah, there's
fierce
the
competition
for painting kits.
Usually they don't bring display boards, and I have my Barak fantastic Mills display board that we've seen also on the channel, the battle reports. That always brings in some points. I'm not sure. I'll probably throw a dice on Friday afternoon and just go with something. But I've tested out the lists that I'm playing on Saturday against Morathi and the Bowsnakes. And the game should have been over by round 2 because I let him go first. Bowsnakes didn't do anything because out of range. I went in, I failed the flare pistol, killed 2/3 of the Bowsnakes. Luckily got the double turn, killed the rest. Charged
you get the flare pistol on the second turn.
Yeah.
Okay, if you fail 2 turns in a row, that would be unlucky.
Yeah, because they were playing a faction where everything is -1 to hit from myself.
Oh, okay. So it's.
I'm not sure which one it is. And Morathi was always on a 1/4 inch move, basically quarter move, not 1/4 inch. That would be nice. And Gotrek was just in the middle, and then I should have given away. I had priority in third. I should have taken away the middle, because we were playing First Blood. Take away the middle objective. Gotrek's not doing anything the rest of the game, and just stay away from him and jump between the outer 2 scoring.
Yeah.
But I got greedy and I said, I'll shoot Gotrek. And he came down to 2 wounds. I forgot to shoot with my Arcanaut company, which is a couple of shots. I forgot them. Then I said, 2 wounds, the Prime can do it. He went in and he just died shamefully, straight first activation, and then Gotrek got into my ship and killed everything. I lost by 1 point. But it should have been a big victory for me. So good, I tested it out, but the list worked against that, and it was fun. And I'm testing it out again tomorrow against Soulblight. That will be my testing preparation for that. On Monday, I get Thunder Lizards, so see how that goes.
Nice.
Not sure.
One good thing or interesting thing about Warhammer Heartlands I mentioned is they did a sliding scale 20-0 scoring system. So if you
differential scoring. Yep.
So differential scoring. So if you did lose by 1 point in that tournament, it would have you still would have scored quite a bit. You wouldn't have been there.
That is what most tournaments now seem to use, which I prefer. It
was interesting because there was a list that went 5-0, but come 10th because most of the wins were
minor wins.
Yeah, only by a few points.
It's interesting because it makes you, even if you lost the game, it makes you scramble for each single point, each battle tactic. Because in the end, it makes a difference if you're 10th or 20th, like those 5 points across 3 games maybe, which is cool. It motivates you to keep on playing.
Yeah, I quite liked it. It was interesting.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I think we've covered everything. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you liked the show. If you did, please hit like. If you like what we're doing with the channel, please subscribe for future Kharadron Overlords and Age of Sigmar content. Don't know, we'll have a show next week if you're at home.
I'll come
you'll be busy.
Home late, so next 2 weekends probably not, unless we do it on a different weekday. I'm trying to get battle reports, like live action battle reports, back up. I'll have to see need to paint, and then see if we can manage. But maybe that's something to look forward. And if any news come up, if you know of any tournament wins by KO, any KO lists that did well that you think are very interesting and worth discussing, just leave a comment or send us a message. And we are also on the Facebook group. We are in the WhatsApp group, so there's means to find us.
Yeah, or tournaments that haven't happened yet, and they're publishing their list beforehand.
Yes, definitely do that. Let us know if there's some cool lists.
We know about lots of things that happen, but not everything, because we're human. So we miss some things, especially if they're in different countries. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you, Max, for joining me as always, and we'll see you again soon, Skyfarers. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.